So hello students. Now in our previous video we discussed about queue and how a queue can be represented in the memory using an array. Now in today's video we will see if a queue is implemented using an array, then how insertion algorithm will work, what is the insertion algorithm or insertion procedure, and what are the steps needed in deletion procedure. Okay, so insertion and deletion algorithm in a queue. At first we'll discuss insertion. So we assume that the queue is implemented using an array. Insertion. See, first of all I'll explain you the procedure, then we'll go for algorithm. Now suppose we have a queue. Okay, so at the first initially, so this is an array. So initially we will check overflow condition. Overflow condition. So what is the queue overflow? So now overflow condition means if you are trying to insert something in a queue, you can insert at the rear end. So when you are trying to insert from the rear end, but rear is equal to max. So because max is the maximum limit, so maximum limit of the array. So when rear is equals to max, further insertion is not possible. So that has to be verified. Okay. So if there is overflow, insertion will fail. Insertion fails. Okay. Now otherwise, if there is no overflow, go to step 2. Now we know that we have to insert from the rear end. Now when it is used, when an array is represented, a queue is represented using an array, we need to insert an element at a given index. So these are the indexes. So the before insertion we can just change the index of the rear, because see, if at all right now some elements are present in the queue, the value of rear will point to the last element. So value of rear stores an index of the last element. So we have to insert another element just behind the rear element. So when you insert an element just behind, the value of rear will increment. But let me tell you that the value of rear will change. There are two criteria to examine the value of rear. See, we know that when the stack was empty, when the queue was empty. So right now suppose queue is empty. If the queue is empty, the value of rear equal to 0 and value of front equals to 0. Now if you want to insert an element in an empty queue, when you insert an element in an empty queue, both rear and front should be set as 1. Yes. So how do you ensure that the queue is empty? Right now rear 0, front 0. Both rear and front equal to 0. Then set rear equals to 1 and front equals to 1. And then you assign queue of rear equals to item. Okay, so this is the procedure. Otherwise means now rear and front are not both 0. So when both are not 0, definitely front will not change, only rear value will change. Suppose already there are some items here, let's say 20, 25. So here there are some elements. So this one is front, this one is rear. Now if I want to insert, only rear will be incremented by 1. So value of rear is right now 2, rear pointing to 2. Now after insertion, rear will point to 3. So otherwise simply rear equal to rear plus 1. Okay, and then queue of rear should be set as item. So these are the simple tricks. Now let us write the algorithm for insertion. So algorithm to insert. Okay, so insert. What are the parameter requires? One is the name of the array, then max, that is maximum size, then front value as well as rear value, both are needed. Okay, why both are needed will see. And then item. So item means the data that you want to insert into the queue. So these are the parameters that must be written in insertion procedure. So you can define this parameter. What queue means, you can here you can just define. Okay, where queue means the array that represent queue. Okay, maximum size of queue. Okay, front index to front of the queue, and rear index to the rear end of the queue. Okay, and finally item. So item means data to insert. Okay, so after describing this, now you can write the algorithm. So first we'll write begin. Now we know first we have to examine for overflow condition. So what is the overflow conditions? If rear equals max, then print overflow. Okay, and then overflow and exit. Clear? So we will say end of if structure. Now suppose there is no overflow. So now we can insert, but before insertion the value of rear must be set to that particular index where you want to insert. So now how to set? We cannot just simply increment here, but because we have to examine for an empty queue, because if queue was empty, the value of rear should be 1 as well as value of front should be set as 1. Okay, otherwise at the time of deletion there will be problem. So now you can write if rear equals 0. So when rear is 0, definitely front will be 0. Okay, then I don't need to check front whether front is 0 or not, because when rear is 0 means queue is empty, definitely front will also be 0. So in that case we will set rear, okay, capital letter. So rear equals to 1 as well as front equals to 1. Else, see, I will insert later. First I will write else. Otherwise, if rear is not 0, simply increment rear equals to rear plus 1. So now here the value of rear is now set to the appropriate index. Now I will insert queue of rear, okay, is equals to item. So one item has been now inserted in a queue. Okay, so finally I can write end. Okay guys, so hope you understood this video. Clear? Fine. Now we will see the deletion process. Okay, so how to delete an element from a queue. Fine. Let's see the deletion process. Deletion. Now when we perform deletion, the first step we need to check if there is an element in the queue or not. So because unless and until there is some element in the queue, we cannot perform deletion. Okay, so we have to check for underflow condition. So first step for deleting an element is check for underflow condition. So whether or not underflow is occurring or not. Underflow condition. So what is underflow condition in a queue? When the queue is empty, So how do you ensure the queue is empty? When queue is empty, definitely rear as well as front must be 0. So now we will only verify front, because when we want to remove, we have to remove it from the front end. So suppose this is the queue, and whenever we remove the front element. So just compare front, the value of front. So if value of front is equals to 0, then underflow. Okay, so when there is no underflow, then what to do? So okay, step 2 means otherwise. So if there is underflow, then deletion will fail. Then deletion fails. So your algorithm will give a proper message, and the algorithm will return. But otherwise means go step 2, else step 2. Okay, so if there is no underflow, then step 2 will be performed. In step 2, what to do? What you can do? First of all, you should move the item present in the front to a different temporary variable. Okay, so move the item from front to a temporary variable. So we assume that the front location becomes empty. So how can we move it? We can use a temporary variable tmp. We can write queue of front. Okay, so first you have to move this, then you have to change the front. See, first this, suppose 20 and 25 are there in the array. So this is 20 and 25. Okay, for deletion. Okay, I am giving you here. Suppose we have 20, then 25, then 30. Okay, now this is my front and this is my rear. So 1 2 3, then 4 5. Okay, so just forget this. So this is my front. Now I will first remove this element to a different location. Okay, after removing this element, the front is 1, but front should be pointing to the 25. So the value of front should be incremented by 2. Okay, so first you eliminate and then you change the value of front. But should we change the value of rear ever while deleting? That is the most important point that you should remember. Just like when we perform insertion, we only change the value of rear, but only once we are changing the value of front in case of insertion. What was the case? See, when the queue was empty, see, this is the case. When rear, this is the case of insertion. When rear was 0, the queue was empty. Then we changed both rear as well as front as 1 1, and then we insert element. Okay, similarly, but otherwise in all remaining cases, when the rear was not 0, for insertion we only update the value of rear and then we do the insertion. Now similarly, when we have to perform deletion, we know we will delete from the front end, but should we ever change the value of rear while removing? Yes. When? Let me explain. Now suppose my queue contain only one element. Okay, so let's say this is 20, 25, 30. First this one is removed. Now front becomes this one, 20, 25, and this is rear. Now instead of insertion, suppose another element is removed. So 25 will be removed from the queue. Now both rear and front both pointing to 30. So now both are same. Now at this moment, when I remove an element 30 from the queue, my queue becomes empty. Okay, so in that case, rear should be 0 as well as front should be set as 0. So when queue contains only one element and we remove that element, in that case both front and rear should be set as 0. So after removing this item from the front to a temporary variable, you should examine that whether earlier the Q contains one element or more than one element. So how do you ensure that Q contains exactly one element just before deletion? When Q contains one element, the value of front and value of rear both are same. It may be 3, may be 4, anything. Okay, so if value of rear is equals to front, then before deletion the Q containing one element. So once the element was removed, the Q will become empty. Then we have to set rear equal to 0 and front equals to 0. In any other case, otherwise we should make front equal to front plus 1. So this is the steps. This is the steps of our algorithm. So now let us write the algorithm. So name of the algorithm that I will give is delete. The parameter that we should pass is Q, then max. These two represent the Q, then front, rear. Okay, so only this much of parameter that we should pass. We don't need to pass any item because we don't want to know the item that you will remove, because in a Q removal will take place based on the position of front, not depending upon the item. So whoever item is present at the front, that will be removed. Okay, so now when we write algorithm, you may define these parameters. What are these parameters indicate? So Q means the array which represent the Q, max, maximum size, front, index of front element, and rear you can write index of rear element or last element. Okay, so that is different. Now let us write the algorithm. Begin. So first, in delete algorithm we need to check underflow. So what is the underflow criteria? If front equals 0. So if front is 0, then underflow we don't need to check rear, because the moment front is 0, the rear will also have 0. But because we are deleting from front, we will check only front. Then we can just give a message print. This is my error message, underflow. So in deletion will fail, then return. So my algorithm will return. So end of if block. So this is end of if block. If there is no underflow, if the condition is false, it will jump after the end of if block. Okay, if it is true, then it will move here, but otherwise it will jump after the if block. Now what to do? TMP is a temporary variable. I will move the data Q front. So whatever data present in the front, that is moved to a temporary variable TMP. Now value of front should be changed. So value of front should be either set to 0 or value of front must be incremented by 1, because see, if this data was the only element in the Q and it is removed, then value of front should be 0, and if value of front should be 0, value of rear will also set to be 0, because now Q becomes empty. So how do we ensure that before removal only one element was present? If front equals rear. So when value of front was equals to rear, the Q contains only one element. So then we should set front equals to 0 and rear equals to 0. Else, otherwise, that means front was not equal to rear. So that means Q containing more than one element. So just when we shift the element from front, we should increment the value of front so that it will point to the next element. So front equals front plus 1. So this is end of if structure. So if, else, end of if. Now deletion operation is over. Now my algorithm will return TMP, because it will explain, it will suggest, or it will inform that when the item is removed from the front, what was the data element that is removed from the front of the queue. Okay, so finally this is end of the algorithm. Okay, so this is what deletion algorithm in a queue if the queue is implemented in an array. So guys, we discussed array representation of queue and how the insertion and deletion algorithm will be conducted if a queue is represented using an array in the memory. In our next video, we will discuss about linked list representation of queue and how insertion and deletion operation takes place if a queue is represented using a linked list. So till then, thank you.